Thank you, and welcome to Texas. But for me, it's welcome to CMAA. I am so delighted to be here. I have never had such a warm welcome by all of you. You all lead with your heart, as I see it, and you have made me feel so welcome at CMAA over my past 4 months. And I am looking forward to 15 years maybe of being here with you. And together we are going to make this association rock. So I understand I'm supposed to do a State of Your Association, but I thought I would start with what's this thing about an association executive versus a club executive, since this is your first exposure to an association executive. Well, much like clubs have evolved over the past 15 or 20 years to a higher level of professionalism, clubs have, or associations have too. The sophistication of associations has grown, and therefore the profession of association management has grown too. And in fact, I have a master's degree in running associations. So my competency is in education programs and networking and community building and all the things that we do in associations. Coming to CMAA is my 4th association, and for me, I am not a club executive. So what I need to do is that word up there that says co-create. Together, the melding of my skills as an association executive and your skills as a club executive can make this association continue to evolve. So that's a little bit about what the difference from the way I see it is between an association executive and a club executive. Now understand, I probably get asked 4 questions pretty consistently. Okay, we get that. So do you belong to a club? The answer is yes, and my general manager is here somewhere. I won't embarrass him. Do I play golf? Poorly, which I think is pretty consistent, with many of you as well. I've been in a lot of your clubs over time, and I've been working for your members throughout my association career, whether it's Wall Street executives or C-suite executives. I've been working with your members, and I've been in your clubs, a lot of city clubs. I live in Annapolis, Maryland, or near the town next to Annapolis, Maryland, so I certainly know the sailing community and the yachting community. But I'm here to talk about your association. And what is the state of CMAA? Well, I've been here 120 days, and so I'm going to give you my assessment. When I look at CMAA, we have had the same challenge that you have had really since the Great Recession. When you hit the Great Recession, and many associations did as well, we had real financial stress. And for us at CMAA, that financial stress has continued. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it exists out there. And this past year, if you look at the financials online, we had a loss this past year, and that was due to the transition costs. But when I look at CMAA, the core of CMAA is very healthy, and that's the education piece. When I also look, coming as a new person into this community with fresh eyes or a third-party view, the world of change is affecting us everywhere. But what I see is a lot of potential, and that's what I'm really going to focus on, the potential, because everywhere I look, there is potential. So how do we move things forward? And that's really the key, and that's really what you want to know. So let's talk about that. Coming into CMAA, we had a business plan done, great business plan. And so we spent time at the first board meeting, my first couple days, beginning of October, and focused the board on how do we implement this. And the board came up with 3 different pieces of this, so let's go through this. The first goal is to stabilize the organization and position it. So clearly, just like when you come into a club, you're going to go through a very similar process that I'm going to go through. You're going to look at your operations, you're going to look at your staffing, you're going to start to engage the members and ask them, so that's what we need to do. And we're doing this in a way that staff is very involved. If you've read some of my blogs, you've seen probably some of this. We have 18 teams on staff that are doing various pieces of the analysis, from how we look at member value in segments, to how we run our building, to all sorts of different things. And so staff is very excited and engaged about this. Some things that we need to do. Club Solutions has come up, and I heard it just a minute ago when Bill Langley was up here. And when I look at Club Solutions, what I see is certainly, I think the thought of creating a profit center within an association is a very good thought. What we did, however, was try to create an insurance business and other businesses where we were selling to you. And our core competency is education and networking and information. So we are going to evolve Club Solutions and focus on that competency building area and move, instead of us selling you and trying to sell you insurance and other products, we are going to create third-party relationships, which we are calling advisory services. We will bring experts in on risk management, on retirement, on facilities, and help you do an assessment so that it increases your competency as a manager, and then underlying that, there may be a product that you're interested in. So in essence, we are not selling, you are learning by using these services to increase your competency, and then there might be something underneath there for you. So that's one half of Club Solutions. The other half of Club Solutions is our subscription service. And we are a professional association, so we're an individual-based association, but we have services for clubs, and therefore this subscription. It has been PCS, and then we've done the training center, and we're going to evolve that and merge those two into what we're calling the new Club Resource Center. And we're going to commit money into upgrading various pieces of that, like the Club Operations Manual and other pieces that will make the value even stronger going forward. And so that we're in the process of, understand I've only been here 120 days, so my goal was to get as much I could to stand up here and tell you about, but there's still a process that we're going to go through. So be looking more for Club Solutions, but today is the announcement on how we're relaunching Club Solutions. The second piece is sharing a line. As that video, that person up there, my alter ego, said a couple minutes ago, it's not my association, it's your association. And as your association executive, I need to share as much as I can, and I need to listen as much as I can to you to make sure that I'm running the association the way you want it run. So you have already probably seen my blogs. If you're a social media person, I'm trying to do as much as I can of tweeting my stream of consciousness. You will be seeing more and more of that. I also believe strongly that I need to be out on the road to chapters, and I think I have 15 scheduled. Thank you for inviting me. And now I'm starting to turn them down because we have to push them into the next year. But I want to come out and listen and talk about how we evolve the organization. So that is the second piece. The third piece is, how do we move the organization forward? Well, just as you do when you come into a club, you start asking your members, what do you want to do? How do we do that? What are your passion areas? So we are starting a process, and understand we have a business plan, but we are taking this along a path that will allow us to evolve that even more, and doing a strategic planning process Tony, as part of his year, has committed to. And what that means is you will get a member survey later on in the next couple months, 60 days probably, that are going to ask you a whole bunch of questions about your organization. And I hope, you will answer that with heart and mind. And then from there, that will start a lot of strategic discussions over the next year, culminating with our leadership conference in September, where we're going to co-create together. And we're going to put forward several strategic areas that pop up out of this discussion over the next several months that will help to frame where we're going over the next 3 to 5 years. And if you come to leadership conference, it'll be a pretty, what I hope will be a very special experience. But I want to give you a taste of what the board is thinking. And what the board is thinking, today at our board meeting, we approved a new initiative that's called the 2027 Club Professional Initiative. You're probably sitting there saying, 2027, oh my goodness, that's 12 years off. We need to do things now. Well, first of all, 2027 is our 100th anniversary at CMAA. And what I want to do, and what our staff wants to do, and what our board wants to do, is commit to you to make sure that we have the skills and the competency in this changing world that are necessary for you to manage into 2027. So we are starting now and starting to look at areas, and you can see a few on the screen, things like data analytics, things like brand management, sustainability, and there's a whole host more. Things like looking at an MBA program. How do we deliver programs online and other ways to you to make sure that you're getting the education you need in the way you need it and how you need it? I can tell you our first initiative is BMI 5. We are relaunching BMI 5 in the fall. It's moving from Vegas to Boston. You will see some various new components to that. One of those is executive presence. I come from the corporate communication side, or my last association was corporate communication, and I think it's very important for you to understand how you present yourself. So we're going to have some folks come in and spend time on that. We're looking at potentially doing a 360 review process as part of BMI 5, and actually I think that 360 review process is something that we can bring in-house and start to offer you as members. So BMI 5 will be our first piece, but you will see more on this initiative in a release that's coming out in a couple hours, and you will hear more about this for some time to come. Some of these pieces have a pretty heavy funding aspect to it, and I'm glad we have the Club Foundation here to help support that as well, and we'll be working together on that. I've talked already about how we do that focus forward, and my ask of you is, again, this co-create. And when we look at how we move forward together, it is a co-creation process. And it is a process where the more you share to us at the board level, at the staff level, at the chapter level, the more we succeed together. And I want to spend a second and talk about chapters. Because chapters, we are one big community. And chapters, as you join CMA, you join both at the national level and at the chapter level. And what we need to do is make sure, as part of the strategic planning process, make sure that we are aligning how chapters evolve and how national evolves, so we have symmetry and we are in sync with each other. So it's going to be a pretty exciting process. I am psyched. Again, as I look around, I see potential everywhere. My biggest challenge is trying to prioritize everything, trying to look at how do I maximize and provide impact to you immediately, and then we move on to the next thing. So you will be hearing lots more. Please stop me, talk to me, tell me, except for the run tomorrow. There's a lot of trash talking among staff about who's going to beat who at the run, so I need to focus at that. But otherwise, please talk to me, because I really want to hear what's on your mind. Because together, we're going to co-create. So I would ask you, and so many of you are involved in your association, and it is your association, and the more you put into it, the more you get out of it. So with that, thank you very much. It's great to be here. I am so delighted to be your CEO, and I'm looking forward to 15 years of rocking it with you.